We're live. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, John. Oh, well, thank you. I just walked in. Welcome to our Success Mastermind. I am John Lavenia. My name's on the shingle out front. So when the host doesn't show, it's back to me. So I'm in gym clothes. And hold on a second. I'm hearing myself in my other speaker because we've got sound turned on. Okay, great. So welcome everyone. It is Thursday, the 18th of March. Happy belated St. Patty's Day. I know we talked about St. Patty's Day yesterday. Actually, I didn't do much, but post on a couple social media accounts. I did not eat corned beef and cabbage. I am remiss in my participation as a wannabe Irish. So we're going to do some of that today. I did get my daughter though just now. I just stopped at the donut place. Any of you, if you're in Phoenix, Arizona, check out Bossa Donuts, Bosa, Bossa. There's a few locations throughout the valley. It's run by Asian. There's always Asian people in there. So I think maybe even Polynesian. I'm not sure, but like one of the locations has like a straw hut kind of a theme going on. But their donuts are probably the best in the valley. Now I know the best donuts in the world come from Brooklyn, New York, but story for another time. But I got her this St. Patty's Day donut with green sprinkles on it. And she said, "What flavor is it?" I said, "Green flavor." So deal with that. That'd be a good idea, right? A spinach donut for children, like a little bit of sugar, right? Get them to eat their spinach. Actually, my daughter loves vegetables. Clearly, I have no topic for you today because I just walked in and did not know I was hosting. But you know what? Being that a professional is at their best regardless, I am going to deliver for you something awesome. And I'll tell you what it is. I just created, as I think some of you know, I just created the workshop group, opt in and everything. We've got a Facebook group. We're going to be doing our book study in an extended version for the public. Yes, invite your friends. Some of you, in fact, all of you should have received. Can I see a show of hands here? Let me get the gallery going here. Did you guys get an email? Yeah? All right, very good. Very good. Thank you. Good to see you all. By the way, there's John Apogee, Ivier, Daisy, Janet. All right, look at all these awesome people. All right. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring this conversation to success to an even greater audience, which I think, and this isn't sounding, judgmental or presumptuous, but I think the audience needs it. I think, especially with the year that many people just had, right? The considerations about, what I can or can't do, the idea of lack or dependency or limitation, which are easy ideas to think, right? It's easy to think lack and limitation. I grew up thinking it. Every example I had of every person around me was that, right? There's a lot of agreement on that. Lack, limitation, problems, drama, baby, friggin' drama. I'm Italian, right? You want to talk about drama? I think the Italians and Jews got the drama market cornered. Like, we know drama, baby. You ought to see drama. But Teresa, am I right or am I right? Teresa, yeah, I see Teresa there. So, but what about abundance? What about success? What about, dare I say, getting rich? Now, having been in the business opportunity space for as long as I have, there's such a thing as the get rich quick scheme, right? Which nobody wants, of course, unless they find one. Then they join by the millions, right? That's a very interesting thing, a get rich quick scheme. That's bad news, right? And yet every get rich quick scheme, I'm talking about less than legitimate opportunities, Ponzi schemes and such, people throw their money at it and they ride that wave, hopefully make money before it crashes, and then it crashes, right? There's actually whole directories online for people who are looking for the latest scheme, HYIP, high yield investment programs, Ponzi schemes, actual illegal Ponzi schemes. Here's the whole directory of them. And here's the ones that are starting up. Get in while the getting's good. This one's on its way down, right? People try to make a living doing that, and they leave a trail of dead bodies behind them and whatever. It's completely mercenary. I can't play that game. My goodness, I'm the guy who wrote the book on personal integrity, literally. So I mean, I got to know what I'm into. But here's what back to the original point. Here's what I could tell you about people is that we tend to do what's comfortable, whether that's in deed or in thought. And the two are created, right? You don't do something until you think something about what to do. So one of the things that we're going to be covering, not just in our book study, which happens every Monday night for our members, okay, but what we're going to be covering and opening up to the broad public, whoever wants to attend, is going to be 4 sessions on this classic book, The Science of Getting Rich. I know Lindsay's read that before. A couple of us have read that before. Everyone should have a free copy of that right now. I can give you a free copy because it's out of copyright. It is over 70 years old. It's over 100 years old in this case. And we're going to be covering this book in 4 sessions on Monday at our regularly scheduled time, and also ending on the following Monday at the regularly scheduled time. So that's the 22nd and 29th here, at least on this side of the date line. And then we're also going to do Wednesday and Friday, which is going to be kind of weird, a Friday evening deal, right? Well, people who really want it will show up. But this is going to preempt Networking Magic next week, which Glenn is fine with because he's packing house, he's moving, he's doing his thing. So he's like, yeah, I'll take a break. I said, well, I'd like you to participate in the the book study as well. I'd like for you to be there with all that. He's like, oh yeah, absolutely. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. So let me show you what this looks like for those of you who haven't gotten this in your inbox yet. And if you're seeing this on YouTube or Facebook or somewhere where you're somehow not on my list, because I'm going to be emailing this to everyone, you can go ahead and send an email to contact@johnlavenia.com, and I will make sure to get you on the list. So this is the site. You can go ahead, watch a little happy video for me right here in my natural habitat. Does that look familiar? Although I'm wearing my uniform in this shot. I'm wearing my black polo shirt right now. I'm just wearing a Mantis X shirt as well. Who knows what Mantis X is? You can put it in the chat. But you can opt in for text messages. Here to meet a few of our members, some of which are on here right now. And thank you for your feedback. Read about what people think about what we do here, a little bit about me, yada, yada. Just go ahead and opt in and you'll get all the free stuff, including access to our private Facebook group, which is launching just for this workshop. It's going to be fun. This is our first run with this. So get excited. I'm excited. Can't wait to hear what I'm going to say. Maybe something good, maybe something bad. I don't know. We'll find out. Probably something good. I've read this book a number of times, and it really has transformed my way of thinking about money and my relationship with money. I mean, after all, the title is The Science of Getting Rich. There's nothing subtle about that. And I like science. I like science because, and this, I guess, will be our topic for today. While I was putting together that webpage that I just showed you, I got to review a bunch of footage from these sessions, these events that we do here. We meet every day. We meet, in our case, like 3 times a day. We got different topic discussions going on. We've got today, for example, we do have our brand builder with Shannon. Oh my goodness, that might be preempted too. I will tell you that yoga is off the table today. Nancy's traveling or something, but we do have at 8 p.m. Eastern is scheduled our brand builder with Shannon. She's in an airport right now, so that may work out. She may be coming at you live from San Antonio. I'll go ahead and verify that. But I was reviewing some footage from some of our previous events that we've done here, and that's where I came up with some of these little clips that I put on that website. And some of you guys got me a little teary-eyed, including and especially my friend Carlene. When we first started this mastermind group, which was birthed out of the rubble of another opportunity that had decided to go in a different direction. And I decided, enough with, just flying someone else's flag as it relates to this, I think, vitally important conversation. We're just going to go ahead and make our own. And here we are, right? Here we are about almost a year later. I know Mark Riggle is supposed to be hosting this right now. Mark's in jury duty, but Mark has become a facilitator here. Ivier, Therese, right? And people who had just met up with this group just before we went live, with our own, self-contained version of this, and John Apogee, right? And then and people who I cherish, who are staples of this group, like Ingrid and Gail. Now her son Stefan's here, and Janet and Ace, Daisy, of course, and so many. But I was thinking of Carlene, because Carlene's one of the people that had reached out to me when we decided to put this group together, and she made some comments to me. John Apogee, I see your hand up. Did you want to comment, or should I continue? And then you can. You're muted, sir. You're muted.
I just had a question about when you set up the Facebook page for this thing. Mm-hmm. Is it a separate Facebook thing, or is it the same one we've had?
No. Our members only Facebook group is as it is. This new group is just for the Science of Getting Rich workshop.
Okay, got it.
So you'll want to participate in that as well.
Thanks.
Thank you for your question. So Carlene had reached out to me, and we were talking a bit about the mission of what we do here, bringing this conversation of success into the public for anyone who's willing to listen consistently, right? Because it's one thing to get a bit lofty. Oh, today I'm feeling like, I'm going to go do some personal development stuff. You know what? Turn on the meditation music. Anybody got some incense? That's great. All right, I got my fix. Now let's get back to the same miserable piece of crap ways of doing things that I've been doing all along. That's not personal development. A lot of times people think personal development is like fluffy. I'll tell you what, it is not fluffy. This is a tough game. This is the work. This is hardcore. Self-mastery, it's the toughest game you'll play. And of course, that's what this book is about. The science of getting rich, right? All right, well, getting rich. I don't want to get rich quick. Okay. I'd like to make more money in less time. Well, that's how you get rich. Okay, great. So let's get rich. But I was talking about the mission, overarching mission of everything we do here. And it's really to help people reclaim and reestablish and rehabilitate causation in their life. People who, in many cases, I would say in every case, my goodness, in every case, including my own, have forgotten how powerful we actually are, how able we actually are. I don't just believe we are. I know we are. Because in times of high necessity level, right, we've demonstrated that to ourselves. We've come and we've said, you know what, I've got to get this done. And we've gotten it done, haven't we? Haven't we gotten it done? And maybe some circumstances had to get changed around or whatever. Maybe you had something to do with those circumstances. And maybe you didn't. Maybe it just all came together. The planets aligned, but it worked when it had to work. And so here's what I've got to get working. Here's what has to work. This thing right here. This has to work. Otherwise, nothing else works. That's how important the conversation of success is. That's how important self-mastery and personal development is. I would argue that it's 90% of your success in any business, in any endeavor, of anything of note, anything worth showing up to. The question is, who's showing up? That's the question. Anyway, I got to watch this piece of footage with Carlene. Ivier was in there too. Ivier had a little cameo appearance. When you go to that opt-in page, watch the little videos there. And Carlene got me teary-eyed, because I don't always know, and if I could say this for myself, you could say it for yourself, okay? I don't always know what effect I'm having or am going to have, or how far-reaching that's going to be, because I acted, because I chose to reach, and because I chose to do that as a person who intends to be part of the solution in my life and in the lives of others. It's a deliberate decision. There's nothing vague about this. It's the question, like we talked about last week at one point, who's showing up to do this job? How am I going to occur? How am I willing to occur now that I am reaching into the public and impinging on people's spaces and making known this, whatever this John Lavenia thing is, this action, this personality, this something, this character. Yes. Do I have strength of character? And I think when we get into the idea of enrolling people into our vision, whether that's, buy my product on Amazon, or sign up in my coaching program, or I know Nicola is coming out with with her meditation and affirmation program, right, that she's going to be launching. It's probably next week, right? or even things like I was talking to our friend Stuart, the Llama King, just a couple days ago, right? And he's had. Let me get my phone's on do not disturb mode here. He's had some delays in the medical field, as a customer, not as a doctor, right? He's the llama guy, and he's doing the bath bombs, which by the way are awesome. Buy Thrive bath bombs. Thrive bath bombs. Oh my goodness! I told him please put a link in our Facebook group, so we can all go buy this stuff. I know Shannon's probably spent, I don't know, probably $1,000 there already. She buys this stuff for like corporate gifts, and of course for our daughter, and I guess for herself. But Stuart and Leah are making bath bombs, and they are awesome. I don't know from personal experience, but I'm hearing their feedback. No one pictured me in a bath with a bath bomb. That never, ever, 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 ever happens. But they got the essential oils in there and all the herbs and spices. So yeah, people are into that. But anyway, Stuart's been dealing with getting acceptance, compliance, whatever, from the medical space where there are waiting lists and whatever. Stuart needs back surgery. He wants to get up on those hills and hike, right, and down in the canyons and trekking with the llamas and wearing the backpacks and all this kind of stuff. He can't do that right now. So who's showing up to pitch that deal, right? Because it's not. Look, life isn't fair. I know that's a thorn in a lot of people's sides. And he who asks gets, and he who doesn't ask never gets, right? So he's working through that system and the bureaucracy of it. So it brings me back to what was the thing that, and I'll just paraphrase Carlene. She was talking about transcending religion, race, sexual identity, culture, all these separate things, these things that cause us or remind us to be separate from each other. And certainly we have the individual, high on a pedestal as the component part of any successful group. You got to have successful individuals. So yes, the individual is what we celebrate here. You can't have integrity within the group until you have integrity as an individual. And my whole first book was about that. But the idea that we could transcend all these things that lead us astray, and how can we do that? And I was thinking about how did I occur, or how was I able to occur in Carlene's life? And that's just one example. As someone who's been able to transcend all these labels and stuff, secondary and tertiary considerations, how was I able to do that? And it came down to one phrase: objective truth. So I identify as a philosopher. I'm a street philosopher. I study the basic truths of life. That's what philosophy is, the study of the basic truths of life. And I attempt to have integrity to them, like to put them in use on the street, like where I live, right? This stuff is for use, right? This isn't just so we could sit around and, smoke a pipe and gaze out the window at the stars and opine about, the mysteries of the universe. That's not the point of philosophy. This stuff is for use. So I am the street philosopher, right? So here's the thing. If we could just look at conditions in life, or the characters that show up, the people, the personalities, the circumstances, the variables, right? If we could just look and just for a moment, just please, for a moment, suspend judgment. Stop thinking that we already know, because we don't. Okay, stop thinking and just look and observe. We'll come up with a whole different story. Quite often, we'll come up with a whole different story. Now, if we've got a narrative running in our minds over and over and over again, because it's comfortable, you see, because we grew up with it, lack, limitation, drama, right? If that's the narrative that keeps running in our mind, we keep playing those tapes over and over and over again. Well, there's not much evolution in that. It's comfy, and we get a lot of agreement, right? We can agree with people. Yeah, I'm broke. Yeah, you're broke too. Yeah, we're all broke. Everything's a problem. Everything's a problem. And you can't, by the way. That's the conversation. You can't. I can't. Therefore, you can't. Lots of agreement there. Lots of agreement. Like cows on the pasture, chewing their cud, waiting for the slaughter. That is life for most people. Not me. And I would venture, not you, if you're in this conversation, right? So what was it that allowed me to be able to occur in this one person's life who is very different than me? Very different, right? She's in another country. She's got a completely different background, upbringing, race, gender, all of it, all of it. Why are we so connected? Why am I so connected to people like Carlene, right? It's because we just looked at what works. What works? Is it the narrative? Is it the labels? Is it the stories? Is it our past? Is it none of it? None of it. None of it works. Here's what works. Look at what gets the results. By their fruit, you'll know them, right? Become a fruit inspector. Look at the fruit on the tree or the lack thereof. And so when we take that into business, right? Because this is for use, right? We take this to the street. We look in business. What gets the stats on the board, right? Allie, when you're doing business, right? You can look without evaluation about it, but just objectively assess this bears fruit or it doesn't. And then we could do more of what works and less of what doesn't. And we can develop habits around this stuff. Yes, habits. I've gotten into the habit of suspending judgment for a time. Okay, don't get me wrong, right? My mind can run amok. Okay, but I've gotten more into the habit when I'm dealing with others, right? Dealing with people, with other powerful individuals, of excuse me, of starting first with the question, who is that person? John Apogee, right? I met John, and he is here as a member in our mastermind group. And I observe, here's an amazingly powerful being who is channeling that energy or some portion of it into this or that endeavor. Okay. But I start with the idea, to the best of my ability, that I don't know where this person's putting their energy. I don't know. I've just met this guy. All I know is that they are an individualization of that same energy that causes this guy, John, to do what I do. It's the same energy. Johann Goethe, my probably favorite German philosopher from the 1800s, he said, if I treat you as you are, I'll make you worse. But if I treat you as though you are that which you could become, I help you become that. So if we're going to be presumptuous, if we're going to assume stuff about others, well, assume the best, right? Treat people as you want to be treated. I know we're getting into basic golden rule kind of stuff right now, but it's a golden rule for a reason, right? It's good stuff, right? Objectively look, does it work? It works. That carries water. Okay, run it, sell it, right? So I fully expect that you are the person who realizes your potential, that you are the person, regardless of what bag of skin you're walking around in. My goodness, who cares, right? That's why, like, all the dissension and the narrative of cultural problems and everything boggles my mind. I mean, it's all invented because you've got way more potential than you can even develop in this lifetime. Now, if I can recognize that for you as an outsider, because I'm not walking around in your body, right? I could see that for you, and maybe what you might perceive as put you on a pedestal. Can I also do that for myself and not have all this counter intention about it? Like, oh, am I being conceited? You see, we're often our own first critic, our own worst critics. I can think Ivier is awesome, but me, I'm awesome. Oh, well, modesty, of course. You don't go around being a braggart. And I think the tendency to self-deprecate, I'll tell you what it is. It's a lack of humility. It's a lack of humility is what it is. Because if it's the same energy that runs through Carlene, John, Ivier, Therese, that runs through me, who am I to think less of myself? Who am I to habitually fall into agreement with people who have demonstrated nothing but lack and limitation type thinking through the entirety of the time that I've known them? Because you see that Goethe quote, treat you as you are and make you worse, right? Treat you as though you were that which you could become. I help you become that. Well, what if I saw you as your possibilities and not as your story, your problems, your failures, your drama? Until you prove to me that you are willing to fight and die for your story of limitation. I will grant you that. I'll grant you that beingness. Go be whatever you want. I'm not attached to it. I just hope for your sake that you get on the wagon here and, we make some progress. Because if not now, then when? And if not you, then who? The Buddhists talk about, because I've studied that philosophy too, which is pretty vast, by the way. That's not something you just show up and in 15 minutes later you get to, quote Buddha or something. But, they talk about how we've had innumerable incarnations, right? We've been this thing and that thing. We've been kings and earthworms and, whatever. And now we're getting to have this human experience, which is so precious, this human incarnation, and to squander it on doing something as droll as just working all the time and not pursue your spiritual enlightenment. How lazy, right? What a tragedy. Lazy people in that culture are people that work all the time. Now, there's joy in work, right? And what could we define work? We can define work as on purpose action, right? So what would be the purpose of doing like spiritual work, right? To actually, study, right? And sit quietly and contemplate scripture, right? Where you want to get, really lofty, get into like Zen and, Buddhist koans and stuff, it's kind of like a unsolvable puzzle kind of a thing. You can't discern it with intellect. You've got to discern it spiritually. That's work too, right? That's endeavoring to I wouldn't say accomplish something, because the truth is there's nothing to attain. You're already it. But to remember, to realize, yes, to make real more of that infinite power that causes all of this. So this is a bit of a lofty conversation, but I think it's one that we can all embrace, regardless of whatever religious or non-religious background or whatever. Again, I'm looking objectively at what works. What works is what the truth is, and the truth is prior to my thoughts about it, by the way. So I can't tell you the truth. I can just tell you what I think about it. But when we look to the best of our ability, without judgment, and objectively just attempt to discern truth, what we find is that we could speak excellently about ourselves and others all day long and fall way short of the actual truth. Lack, limitation, circumstances in control of me. Oh, please. You see, these are the reminders that I need to then, when I do show up in business, when I do show up and in my world, right? The coaching, the websites, the branding agency, the all the stuff that we do, right? The e-commerce. Right? When I do show up in my business world, it's the same guy who's showing up in my spiritual work, in my studies, in my being a parent to my daughter. It's the same guy. It's got to be that guy. And with humility, and what is humility? Honest self-appraisal. So that means, we're not, better than you, but also, I'm not an earthworm either, right? I do some things really good. I'm really good. I'm among the best on the planet at a couple of things. Okay. That's also humility. Honest self-appraisal. So you see, it works in both directions. So when I show up humbly, I do my work with definiteness, with diligence, with precision, right? We get spectacular results. And when I'm not humble, when I'm self-deprecating, when I'm forgetting who I am, which we all do, well, I can't, I don't know, I need help, I'm unsure, I'm going to sit here in a state of chronic indecision and do nothing. I'm not going to reach. What if I fail? What if, drama, problems, limitations, nothing. Sad. Same 24 hours. Which guy's showing up? I pray, please, powerful John, show up today. There's an affirmation. Put your name in there. Please. Powerful Allie today. Allie, queen of the universe, show up today. I love you, girl. I'm done talking. I'm going in wacky different directions here now. Ivier's got her hand up. So why don't I have Ivier come and save the day because I'm running this train right off the damn cliff.
You know what, John? When we were talking about you in your brief absence, we all agreed that you were going to show up and deliver like you always do, not having prepared anything. No, I mean, everyone, please give John a thumbs up. I mean, because once again, he's done it. I mean, John, I don't know how you do it, but yeah, kudos. That's what I want to start by saying. And I think one of the
I just look at you and I'm instantly inspired.
Thank you. I think one of the treasures that we have created as part of this platform is, and I'm thinking of Adrian here because Adrian Garner does this, oh my God, so well. He sees each and every one of us as we can be, not as we are. And even when those scripts play out and we voice them, the limiting beliefs and all of that, he is very quick to say, you can do this. I see you doing this. You are successful. Whatever it is you want to be, you already are, you can, you've got it. I mean, he says it in so many different ways that if you listen, you can still hear the replay long after the conversation's over. And so those kind of conversations can replace those limiting belief scripts that play over and over again. So if we need to, all of these sessions are recorded. We can go back and hear Adrian deliver to us live what he sees us to be, what he sees that we can become, right? So we can get those reminders as often as those limiting belief scripts play in our minds. It's all recorded and it's there as members. We have access to that, right? And John, I think you saw when everybody came to you separately and you know collectively to say, we cannot let you go. I think you must have seen a glimpse of what is being created here, because I still think the best is yet to come. I mean, this is still early days. I don't even think we've tapped into the fullness or the depth of what this platform is going to become. I mean, I'm so excited. If a year on, this is where we are, I know that stuff like this just keeps getting better. Because as we all grow and become the people that we're meant to be, the conversations are going to be more valuable. They're going to be deeper. We're going to be affecting and impacting our local communities, our little micro universes, that we're going to be, you know, we're going to create such a force. We're going to, it's almost like an energy where it's going to be contagious, but it's a good kind of contagious. So I'm excited for where this is going. And I know I've said this before, but when I have conversations, like when I hear you talk the way you've just spoken, John, I just go, oh my God. I mean, we haven't tapped into 1/10 of what this can be. So you doing this workshop next week, I am super excited because I think this conversation needs to get out there. I think more people need to have access to this. They need to know that this exists. Because just before we went live, John Apogee and I were talking, and I was telling him the reality of COVID in my organization and how a lot of leadership and people that you thought had the mettle to survive a pandemic like this or whatever other kind of, you know, situation, right, are cracking under the pressure. And that made me think, if I didn't have this, would I be one of those casualties? It's a possibility, right? But because I have this support structure, because I'm part of this conversation, because I feed off the energy from everybody in this family, I call you guys my tribe, right? And I mean, I take you throughout my day. At different points, I'm here, I have John's voice playing in my head. At other times, I can hear Therese talking about, you need to eat, and you need to eat healthy. I hear John Apogee saying to me, you know, I'm gonna ask you if you've had something to eat today. So I make sure I'm either stuffing my face on this call as proof that I eat, or I do it quickly before, so that when I am asked, I can show up as a woman of integrity and put my hand up and say, yes, I have. And thank you for holding me accountable. Or when I don't feel like doing my stretches, I think of Nancy and I go, you know what? Nancy will let you off. You may not do yoga on Thursday, but you still know this is good for you. So I take all of you with me in every day that I get up and I show up, but at different times, a different voice is playing in my head. And so I was thinking, as John started talking about this workshop, if I didn't have this platform, I could very well be a casualty, because not many people have the support system that this group has created and provided for us. So I'm so excited that we're going out. We're spreading out next week. We're doing this, Science of Getting Rich, with a lot more people. I am going to be inviting a few friends because they need to be part of this conversation. Whether or not they stick around, I know from just that exposure over that 1 week, their lives are going to be impacted for good. I just know they're going to go out with such a burst of energy, having met us, having interacted with us for whatever brief period. And some might stay because they might think, oh my God, this has been going on for a year. How the heck didn't I know about it? Right? So if anyone's umming and ahhing, should I, shouldn't I, who should I tell? Spread the word. Whoever shows up, shows up. But this is our chance not to keep this to ourselves. And if it's going to be a book study that gets people's juices flowing, let's do it. But we will be doing ourselves and our communities a disservice if we don't spread the word about this, because we could have each been a casualty of the last year, but for this platform. And I say that from a place of humility, because I know that people think I'm strong, but I do have my moments where the other version that doesn't want to go away, quite 100% shows up and says, you sure you can do that? But then I think of this platform and I go, of course I can. Because I know what I'm good at, right? I'll put my hand up if I don't know, if I don't have the strength to do a certain thing. But what I do know I can do, I don't pretend. I don't shy away from that. I don't lie about that. I put my hand up and I say, I've got this. I can do this. But I only have that confidence and that voice and that permission to speak up primarily over the last year because of this tribe. So I thank you all. I thank you, John. And I'm super, super excited for next week. I just know that the conversation next week is going to spark some stuff. And if this doesn't add to our numbers, then yeah, it's not us that have the problem. It's just people that are not. Timing might be off, but somehow I doubt it. So guys, be excited. Watch this space. There's an explosion, on the horizon. And I'm glad I'm on the sidelines to watch this, right? So thank you so much, John, for this. That's what was coming up for me as you were speaking. So once again, you've done it. You've done it. Crushed it.
Thank you, Ivier. And actually, I would agree with everything you said, except one, and that you're not on the sidelines. You are as important in my life as this group is in yours. And I will tell you that because I can't speculate. And we're going to hear from Bill next. But I can't speculate. But I do know that the past year and a half, with the challenges that people have had put upon them, there have been casualties. And I've had people come to me and said, if not for this group, I don't know where I'd be right now. I'll tell you one problem with the group, and everyone unanimously has told me this, everyone who's looked at what we're doing. John, why is it so low priced? We got people paying $200 to $500 for stuff like this, and not even as good as this. So why are you giving it away? I was like, well, all right. So that price is going to have to go up. But anyone who's in now, you can stay as long as you like for for pennies. Oh my goodness. All right. So we're going to get Bill out here. Bill, before I do, I want to congratulate John Apogee, who got right. Yes. Therese said Mantis X might be a rock band. No, it's actually a dry fire or live fire training system. Hold on. I'll show you real quick. So this is the Mantis X training device. It's like $250. There's a few different versions of it. It's got like gyrometers and whatever. It interfaces with Bluetooth with your phone. and you can put it on the bottom of like the magazine, or you can attach it to the rail, and it measures tiny little errors in your trigger press and just makes you more perfect as a marksman. Bill, you've got the floor, sir. Congratulations, John, on getting that answer right.
Yeah,
I figured you would. Hey, Bill.
Hi, John.
Hey.
Good on you, Mr. Opposier, getting that. As speaking as a marksman, I never had technical bits to tell me where I was going right or wrong.
Oh yeah, it's modern. It's 21st century. 21st century, bro. We got computers to tell us what we're doing wrong now.
Well, I think we could take it that if you fell down and didn't move, that was it. We'll put that down as a win. John, just reiterating what Evie has just said. You've just said that you don't speculate, you can't speculate, but you did speculate a year ago. You speculated on an idea that was brought about by a bunch of people that you had been speaking to for a few weeks, I would say. And then it all went belly up, for want of a better phrase. But you speculated on that, and that speculation paid off handsomely. And I don't mean that financially. I mean that as in what you have created here as a group. I would agree wholeheartedly with what AVA says. This is still only the beginning. And I think that this year has created something new for humanity, never mind new for this group. But we have, as a group, came together and support each other. Not everybody partakes per se, like me gibbering stuff online, or Vivier giving her power speeches, or Carleen with her massive soapbox, and which I love. I think she needs a place and if you're American and you don't understand this, you'll have to look it up. But she needs her place in Hyde Park Corner, so she does. All those from London will know exactly what I'm talking about.
Is that like where mimes show up and all that?
Well, Hyde Park Corner would be where the great and the good have spoken.
Okay. So
in public, open air, yeah. So
right.
she could be standing there along with all the other great and good. So she could, of no doubt. But the group that you create here, John, has, speaking from my own experience, has helped me immensely. I know I've had pitfalls and drops and dropped the ball on a few things, but I know that slowly but surely things are coming together pretty damn well. And it's through this group and the people that I've met in this group that has come to fruition. Be that from an uplifting sermon, just as you have done now, or be that from people directly assisting me and increasing my knowledge, because there are many of us here that this is a whole new field, totally new field of life in general, jumping into business from having come from being an employee. That's a totally different ball game, as you well know yourself, John. And it takes hard work. And I wrote it down, your lovely phrase there, that the best guy shows up every day, that the best John shows up, and the best Bill shows up every day. That's exactly what we need to hear. That's exactly what I need to hear. And I know full well that what we've gained through here is definitely increasing my self-belief, and that's exactly where we need to go. And I know Evie said there briefly, about the other person showing up that says, you're not that good, you're not that clever, go away. I'll give you there's a part in the book, The Untethered Soul, that I mentioned a few times on this place, and it's, if you hear that voice, imagine that voice is somebody sitting beside you telling you that, and you have to ask yourself, would you listen to that person? Would you? Hell. Right. So that's what I do constantly these days, is when that little voice creeps into my head, it's told where to go and how to get there. And that's the only way to do it. But John, listen, it's going to go from strength to strength. I know it is. And it's not a flash. This isn't a flash in the pan thing. It's going to go bang. This is building strong foundations here. And you have laid some great foundation stones, and it will just gather. I have no doubt about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. You know, as you were talking, I was thinking of treating yourself like royalty. What if, you know, because you're in England, right? Or are you? Where are you now? You're in Ireland still, or you're Northern Ireland?
Yeah,
Northern
yeah.
Ireland, right?
Still in Northern Ireland, yep.
Right. So when I think of, I was thinking of Monty Python. All right, so not King Arthur, okay, but I was thinking of like royalty or celebrity, right? I guess could be a little bit less denominational or something. Maybe not so British, but the idea of your grand entrance into your office that day, right? You're about to turn on your webcam and address the world or whoever's listening, right? Who's doing that? It is Bill. Prepare everyone. Here comes the royal entrance of Bill. And I was thinking of that for myself. You know, do I think of that like when I show up on social media, on you know, writing copy and whatever I do, am I reticent to speak grandly of myself or to present myself as, you know what? Here's the arrival, right? Here's the arrival. In fact, that's what my last name means, the coming, right? Lavenia. Okay, great. So maybe I should own that, right? Bill, maybe you should own that, you know, all of us, right? I mean, what the hell's the difference? And I don't know because I don't follow such things, but is there something special or magical about, like, you know, people who live in Westminster Abbey or something? Like, are they, you know, more able than you, or it was just like a bloodline or so? I don't know. We don't do that here in America, right? We do other wacky stuff, which is also not working, but but yeah, but I think why not celebrate yourself as that? Bill, I see you as royalty, man. Royalty. And that friggin' dog you got running around, who opened your door behind you, he's in there somewhere, man. I hope he's not crapping on the floor. But that's a cute dog you got there, brother. All right. Anybody else? Anybody else who wants to talk today? Wow. Wow, we're already 10 minutes to the top of the hour. Well, we did start a minute late because I didn't know I was hosting until I showed up, which fortunately I did exactly on the top of the hour. Anybody else want to talk today? Coming months? Come on down. No. All right, we're done. So I'm going to send out another email to a variety of subscribers on various lists and invite them to the workshop, the free workshop for the Science of Getting Rich. Feel free to do so as well. The email I sent each of you who are members here, you can just paraphrase, do whatever you want, share the link. Or if you're, you know, if you get more emails from me, you can just swipe them, rip them off, send them out, do whatever you want with that. So I will look forward to seeing you all tonight on Brand Builder. Remember, yoga is suspended for this week. Nancy is not going to be available at her regularly scheduled time. She will be returning next week, but 8 p.m. Eastern US time, I'm expecting to see my wife, Shannon, with Brand Builder for everyone here from whatever location she is in at that moment. You guys have a great day. You absolutely deserve it. Oh, Sandy, I was just about to click the stop button. Sandy has the floor. Hi, Sandy. Nothing
John,
like
I'm
waiting
so
till the
sorry to
last
jump in.
possible second, the last
But this-
moments.
This is just really quick.
Right.
I don't think I'm sure I didn't receive your email about the new setup. Tell me again, please, who I should contact.
Me, contact at johnlavenia.com, but it just may be in your spam box or something, right? I mean, it's you know, a mass email
Yeah.
service, right? And SMTP, and oh my goodness, this is spam. Oh my, right. So even though you're subscribed to our members list, it may be
Yes.
in your junk folder.
Okay, John. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. Thank you, Sandy. All right, guys. And now we're done.